G'day and welcome to this week's FriBaT, Friday Beers and Tools with Andy. This week's we have an XPA, a Coastal XPA. This is the John Boston Coastal XPA. We have had one of John Boston's before. I think it was the IPA. What do they have to say about the John Boston XPA? It's crafted with the perfect balanced bitterness, light gold in colour, with light tropical fruit, floral and citrus notes on the aroma. Packed with flavour, but sessionability is the key. This comes from Goulburn in New South Wales. It's 4.2% ABV, and another one of these tiny little cans that doesn't fit in my cooler properly. 330ml is 1.1 standard drinks. Happy Friday. Yuck. Yuck. It's just a horrible blend of flavors that don't work together. Now, if you've been watching for a while, you know I like beer. And one of my favorite sayings is there's no such thing as bad beer, just better beer. Well, I've got to modify my saying because this is bad beer. I'm actually not going to finish this beer. Yuck. Literally, yuck. John Boston, what are you doing? Coastal XPA? Well, that's a bit sad. Right. On to this week's tool. We have a residential multimeter. This is an Amazon purchase, as most of my tools are nowadays, and I will put a link in the description below. And this is a UNI-T brand or Unitrend. It is Chinese. They even put a big sticker on it saying made in China. They call this a residential multimeter, and its part number is U123. The U123 is a pocket-sized residential multimeter designed for home use. Compact structure makes it easy to hold in one hand, and the EBTN screen allows users to obtain clear readings at maximum angle. It's also great for working in dark environments. I bought this one to put in my little electrical kit, which I put a link up to before, up above. What's in the box? Okay, a set of leads. I have actually bought UNI-T products before, and they've been pretty good. It also comes with a temperature sensor. Isn't it cute? So its dimensions are 130mm tall, 65mm wide, and 28mm thick. It's a very nice little compact meter. I'll just take the screen protector off it. It does come with two AAA batteries, yes, and they go in the back here with the use of a small Phillips screwdriver. I have already put them in. The first thing that you notice is how great the screen is, and it is a really nice, easy to read, and even with no glasses on, for old people like me, very easy to read. The functions on the meter, it has voltage, AC and DC. It has ohms, including continuity test with a beep, and it will also do degrees Celsius and degrees Fahrenheit, and also has a non-contact voltage tester, which, if you remember last week, I did a review on a pen non-contact voltage tester. which is very handy for the kit. Also very good that the multimeter has it. In fact, let's do a quick test on it now with a lead that I've got here. I have to put it on the NCV setting. Okay. Very nice. Very handy. Okay, so that's the non-contact voltage sensor. As I mentioned, it also has continuity tests, so let's just test out the continuity beep function. The leads are a pretty decent length. Okay, so that's the continuity test. Okay, it will measure 4 volts DC voltage from 4 volts up to 600 volts and the same voltage range for AC volts. On DC volt scale, it has a tolerance of plus or minus 0.5%, and on the AC volts, it has a 1%, plus or minus 1% tolerance. The resistance scale, it will read from 0 to 400 ohm and up to 20 meg ohm. Temperature with the temperature probe, which plugs in lieu of your leads, will read minus 40 degrees C up to 300 degrees C, or minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit up to 572 degrees Fahrenheit, with a tolerance of plus or minus 4 degrees. So that's actually not bad. It has an auto power off function and will shut itself off with no use after 15 minutes, and has an operating temperature of between 0 and 40 degrees Celsius. It is rated to Cat 3 600 volt for safety and weighs a very minuscule 130 grams. I'll put up here what that is in ounces because I don't know. This is a really nice little multimeter. UNI-T makes some pretty good quality stuff. As I've mentioned before, I can't justify buying Fluke or anything like that, and that is I'm an aviation technician, so I guess that was always provided for me, having the best measuring instruments. For home use, for electricians, for mechanics, for tinkerers, these Chinese meters are perfect, and this one, let's talk cost. On Amazon currently, this little UNI-T multimeter is a whole $25.99 Australian delivered. It's currently 7% off with a $2 saving, and in fact there's a 5% voucher available as well, which further reduces the price by another 5%. This is a very nice little unit, and at $26 odd, $25 odd, anyone can have this. I have multiple multimeters, multimeters, and obviously I keep one in my car kit. I have one in my big tool kit in the shed, and now I have this one which will live in my little electrician's kit. Very handy bits of kit. All right, let's talk value for money for starters. Well, at $25 for, it doesn't have current testing, and small multimeters rarely do. As it says, it is designed for residential use, so therefore it doesn't have current testing. I would go and get one of my more auto-oriented multimeters for current testing. So that is a small downfall, but generally we want to measure voltage. Sometimes we want to measure temperature, and we certainly want to measure resistance often. So that's a minor issue, but for value for money, for me, it's 5 out of 5 beers. For functionality, it does everything it says that it's supposed to do. Its tolerances are pretty good, not in the Fluke range, of course, but hey, listen, with plus or minus 1% or 0.5%, I can deal with that. Highly recommended for me. functionality, it's a 5 out of 5 beers as well. All right, well, I'm going to go and pour this down the sink and find myself another beer, probably a Bogue St. George, because that is crap, and I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. Wow, there is such a thing as bad beer, and I found it. Lift your game, John Bostard. Anyway, that's it for this week's FriBaT. Hope you enjoyed that. Nice quick one, and we will see you next week. Cheers.